In this lesson, we're going to be talking about Microsoft Dataverse tables. Dataverse tables are one of the few data structures that you can use in order to build model-driven apps. So we're going to cover why they're fundamental, talk about table columns, relationships, forms for editing data, views for presenting it, some points on data access, and some higher level points around business rules and business process flows. We'll also talk about data within our Power Platform environments and how Dataverse is relevant to both Canvas and model-driven apps. So why are Dataverse tables fundamental? Well, firstly, they store our data. They store them in columns, and those columns have types. And those types define where that data will be stored. So a text data type will be stored in a different place to that of an image file. Tables don't just store data, they also allow you to edit and interact with that data. And contained with tables is the ability to present the data in terms of views, which are a tabular way of presenting information, and also forms, which allow you to view and interact with data from a single data record. Finally, tables allow you to interact with other Microsoft services and outside services. And this is particularly the case when using Power Automate. We describe tables in terms of the columns that are included within that table. Columns are the attributes that store data within a table, and they can have different types. In the diagram shown, we can see that there are a number of columns. The book details is just a single line of text, but the book image is actually an image data type, and the genre is a choice type. That means you can only select from a discrete list of options. Tables can have relationships with other tables. We can think of this as parent and child type relationships, which are often described as many-to-one or one-to-many relationships, but as well as that, Dataverse also supports many-to-many relationships. In the context of a school maintenance scenario, one location could have many maintenance issues associated with it. And in the context of a school library, one author could have many books. One important part of any data table is a form. It's a part of the data table, and it allows us to enter data, but it also allows us to present data in the way in which we desire. In the form shown, we can see that there are actually a number of columns presented, and there are actually only a small number of columns. But if there are lots of columns, say hundreds, then we'd be presenting those in a way that was easier to read by using tabs. And this approach is completely native to Dataverse tables. Views are tabular ways of presenting data. They're interactive in that we can select on the record and we can go in and see more details about the record. And we can also navigate to related tables, such as the location table. Tables don't just have one view, they can have multiple views. And that allows us to place different filters and different sorting to those views. Business rules and business process flows are ways of extending the functionality of your tables. They're more advanced topics. Business rules allow you to apply logic to your tables without writing code. And that can include things like showing and hiding fields based on the selections made. Business process flows, on the other hand, allow a form to be completed in a structured fashion. And this is particularly the case when you've got an awful lot of columns to be completed in your form. In an enterprise scenario where you have lots of data across your entire organization, access to that data can be configured within Dataverse. Security can be applied at a security role, a business unit, or even at a team's level, and can also be extended to field level security and row level security. They reflect the fact that Dataverse is an enterprise grade platform and the security needs of enterprise customers. We will be system administrators within our Dataverse environment, and as such, we'll have access to all of the data in our data tables. And if we're considering data, we also need to consider where that data is held. In a Dataverse table, that data exists in a Dataverse database, and that database exists within our environment. So environments hold both the data and the data structures. Solutions, on the other hand, only contain data table structures. And this is a good thing because it allows us to move the data structures between environments and leave the data where it is. And it means we can develop in our development environments before moving managed solutions into our test environments and our production environments. During this course, we'll only be working within a developer environment. Final consideration around the data in your environment is that because your environment is tied to a geographical region, your data only stays within that region. And this is an important consideration for many large enterprises. During this course, we'll be working with Dataverse and building model-driven apps and Canvas apps. Both of them work extremely well with Dataverse, but your choice will depend on your use case. And we'll see that later in the course. It may take some time for you to get used to building and working with Dataverse tables, and we'll be teaching you how to do so as we progress through the course.